It is shaping up to be a moment of crushing public humiliation for the disgraced Duke of York, as the walls of the palace seem to be closing in around him once again, threatening to turn a joyous family celebration into a masterclass in royal ostracization. Just when Prince Andrew might have hoped to find a sanctuary within the private embrace of his family, reports are emerging that King Charles and Prince William are orchestrating a strategy of deliberate distance that will leave the Duke isolated even as he stands in the midst of his closest relatives. Hello, dear friends and loyal viewers, and welcome back to the channel. We truly appreciate you joining us today as we delve into a story that strikes at the very heart of the British royal family's delicate balancing act between private affection and public duty. If you haven't already, please do take a moment to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our in-depth analyses of the monarchy. Today, our focus turns to the upcoming christening of Athena, the beautiful granddaughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. While a christening is traditionally a time of unity, renewal, and unconditional love, the upcoming ceremony at the historic Chapel Royal is being overshadowed by a dark cloud of tension. According to emerging reports and expert analysis, this event is set to become the stage for a very awkward family reunion, one where the King and the Prince of Wales are expected to draw a hard, invisible line in the sand between themselves and the Duke of York. To understand the gravity of this situation, we must look at the context. This gathering marks a significant milestone. It is reported to be the very first major royal event involving both Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson since the dramatic developments regarding their living situation and status were finalized. We are, of course, referring to the stripping of royal titles and the highly publicized directive for the couple to vacate the royal lodge. These are wounds that are still fresh, and the scars on the family dynamic are far from healed. The backdrop for this tense encounter is the Chapel Royal. It is a venue steeped in history, but also one of intimacy. Unlike the vast expanse of Westminster Abbey, the Chapel Royal offers no hiding places. It is a space where glances cannot be avoided, and where physical proximity is inevitable. And yet, despite this closeness, insiders are predicting a chilling emotional distance. Royal expert Grant Harold, a man who served within the royal household and understands the nuances of palace protocol better than most, has provided some startling insights into how this day is likely to unfold. He describes the pending situation as very awkward, a typically understated British phrase that likely masks a whirlwind of anxiety behind the scenes. Harold suggests that the senior royals, specifically King Charles and Prince William, are not leaving anything to chance. They are expected to quietly but firmly manage the seating arrangements and interactions to avoid any perception of rehabilitation for Andrew. Speaking to Reach, Harold noted, Beatrice's daughter's christening is coming up this week, which will likely see Andrew reunited with his wider family. Now, let us pause and consider the human element here. For any grandfather, the christening of a granddaughter is a pinnacle moment of life. It is a time of pride. Andrew, as the grandfather of little Athena, would naturally expect to play a central, perhaps even dominant role in the proceedings. However, the reality of his standing within the firm makes this impossible. Harold elaborated on the guest list, stating, "As with any royal christening, members of the extended family will be there, so I imagine King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Kate will have been invited." This confirmation of attendance by the senior tier of the monarchy raises the stakes significantly. If this were merely a private affair with only Beatrice's friends and minor royals, Andrew might have been able to relax. But the presence of the monarch and the heir changes the atmospheric pressure in the room entirely. And of course, Harold continued, as the new arrival's grandfather, Andrew will likely have a key role, even if there are reports that his relationship with Beatrice isn't strong at the moment. This is a crucial detail that adds another layer of heartbreak to the narrative. Reports have suggested that the relationship between Prince Andrew and his daughter, Princess Beatrice, has suffered under the weight of the scandals and the subsequent fallout. One can only imagine the conflicting emotions Beatrice must be feeling. On one hand, she is a daughter who loves her father and wants him to share in the joy of her child, Athena. On the other hand, she is a loyal royal who understands the damage her father's association brings to the institution she respects. To have a key role while navigating a strained relationship is a recipe for immense emotional stress. The expert, Grant Harold, did not mince words when describing the potential atmosphere. It will be very awkward for certain members of the family, especially the King and Prince William, he warned. They made the decision to strip Andrew of his titles, so the reunion will be very awkward. It's a very, very tricky situation. Let's analyze that for a moment. The King and Prince William were the architects of Andrew's exile. It was a necessary decision for the survival and integrity of the crown, but it was undoubtedly a painful personal decision to make against a brother and an uncle. Now they must stand in a church, ostensibly to pray and celebrate together, while maintaining the professional distance that their roles demand. They cannot be seen to be cozying up to Andrew, lest the public interpret it as a softening of their stance. Harold predicts a strategic maneuvering of bodies and conversations. It's possible that senior members of the family will keep a distance, he suggests. Conversations will happen in advance, as they won't want anything to go wrong on the day. This concept of conversations in advance is fascinating. It implies that before a single car pulls up to the Chapel Royal, the choreography of the event will have been mapped out with military precision. Aides and private secretaries will likely have discussed who enters when, who sits in which pew, and, perhaps most importantly, who stands next to whom for the official photographs. The goal will be to ensure that while Andrew is present as a grandfather, he is not visually aligned with the core working monarchy. It is a brutal, cold reality, but one that ensures the brand of the monarchy remains untarnished. One might wonder, why attend at all if it is going to be so uncomfortable? Why not send a gift and stay away? The answer lies in the deep affection the King and Prince of Wales hold for Princess Beatrice. The King and William are still extremely close to Beatrice, Harold emphasized, and they will want to be part of this special occasion. This is the redeeming grace of the story. Despite the turmoil surrounding Andrew, the family has rallied around Beatrice. They are distinguishing between the sins of the father and the love for the daughter. King Charles has often been reported to have a soft spot for his nieces, and Prince William grew up very close to his cousins. Their attendance is a show of solidarity for Beatrice, a signal that she remains a beloved member of the inner circle, even as her father is pushed to the periphery. However, for Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew, this event serves as a stark reminder of their new reality. They are entering this space not as the Duke and Duchess of York in their prime, residing comfortably at the Royal Lodge, but as figures under siege, stripped of the trappings of royal service and facing an uncertain future regarding their home. To walk into that chapel, knowing that your own brother and nephew are actively planning to keep their distance, must require a thick skin indeed. The tension will likely be palpable in the silence between the hymns. Every glance exchanged between William and Andrew will be scrutinized by those present. Will there be a handshake, a nod, or simply an averted gaze? The ice wall that William is reportedly capable of erecting may well be in full force. Furthermore, the mention of the Royal Lodge eviction adds a tangible element of loss to the proceedings. It is not just about titles, it is about territory. Andrew is fighting to hold on to his home, while the king is reportedly urging him to downsize. To meet socially while this property dispute rages in the background adds a layer of transactional awkwardness to the spiritual occasion. For the observers, and indeed for us watching the narrative unfold from the outside, there is a tragedy in this. A christening should be about the future, about little Athena and the life that lies ahead of her. Yet, inevitably the focus is being pulled backward, anchored by the past mistakes of her grandfather. The innocence of the child is juxtaposed against the cynicism of the scandal. As we look toward the event, we can expect the official photographs to be very telling. In the past, the Duke of York would have been front and center, a proud patriarch. This time, we may see a different composition. We may see him positioned at the edge, or perhaps in some released photos, not present at all, with the focus remaining solely on Beatrice, her husband Eduardo, and the baby. The visual language of the monarchy is powerful, and Charles knows how to use it. It is a high-wire act for everyone involved. For Beatrice, the challenge is to enjoy her daughter's special day without letting the frostiness between the men in her life ruin the atmosphere. For Charles and William, the challenge is to support Beatrice without endorsing Andrew. And for Andrew, the challenge is simply to endure, to show up, to smile, and to accept that his place in the hierarchy has been irrevocably shattered. The quiet management of interactions that Grant Harold speaks of is the modern royal way. No scenes, no shouting, just a polite, frozen exclusion. It is perhaps more painful than a loud argument because it signifies that the decision is final. There is no negotiating with a seating plan that has been approved by the king. As the day approaches, all eyes will be on the Chapel Royal. We will be watching to see how this fractured family navigates one of its most difficult hurdles yet. It serves as a potent reminder that behind the gold braid and the historic titles, this is a family grappling with deep divisions, broken trust, and the painful consequences of choices made. We would love to hear your thoughts on this difficult situation. Do you think King Charles and Prince William are right to keep their distance from Andrew, even at a private family christening? Or should they put politics aside for the sake of Princess Beatrice and little Athena? Is it fair that a grandfather is humiliated at his granddaughter's big day? Or is this simply the price he must pay? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. We read through them and value your unique perspectives on these complex royal matters. If you found this report informative, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel continue to bring you these detailed updates. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching and for spending part of your day with us. We will be back very soon with more news. Until then, take care of yourselves and your families. Goodbye for now.